Anybody who wishes to vote may. And if you need assistance, let us know.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, you got it. Go for it, ladies.
Mark Duquette made the motion. Thank you. And Rob. Duquette. D-U-Q-U-E-T-T-E.
Yeah.
Is that what you went to today?
Has everyone who wishes to vote done so? Okay, we'll declare the ballot box closed. Amy and Patty, vote you. Okay, we'll declare Randall Greenwood the winner. Come up here so I can serve you some more. Every day. I, Randall A. Greenwood, do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties incumbent as moderator of this according to the Constitution and laws of the state, and that I will support the Constitution and laws of the state and of the state so long as I can
Good evening. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. We started a few minutes late, so we missed the pledge. So if you would please rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I get the municipal clerks from each community to come down to be sworn in, to be ballot clerks for tonight's meeting? Raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties incumbent on me as clerk of this budget meeting. According to the Constitution and laws of the state, I will support the Constitution of the United States United States, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof. So. Nope. You're fine. I'll sign those. Just a housekeeping item. We will be using the Maine Moderator's Manual Guide to our town meeting as our guide for tonight's meeting. Should there be a question that I don't have an answer for or couldn't locate, we will use Robert's Rules of Order, 11th edition. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to allow non-resident administrators, which includes our superintendent, Katie Grondin, and our business manager, Jessica Colom, to speak at the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? That motion carries. Article 2, this will be a written ballot. Shall Regional School Unit Number 4 approve correcting, as shown below, an error in Article 13 of the warrant of the RSU4 budget meeting that was approved at the RSU budget meeting held May 18, 2022, and ratified at the budget validation referendum held June 14, 2022, and approve said article as corrected in the amount of $3,649,523.90. Motion, please.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. I will ask them to prepare the ballot box. What color ballot will we be voting on?
Okay.
We'll be using a purple ballot. If you would get your ballots from your municipal clerk, place your ballots in the box. This is a yes or no question.
Yes means to approve, no.
Yes means to approve.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good.
Has everyone voted who wishes? Does anybody need assistance getting to the ballot box? Seeing none, I will declare the ballot box closed and will begin counting.
Let me turn it on.
All right, we have 25 voters present. There were 25 ballots cast, 21 yes, 4 no. Article 2 passes. At this point, I would just remind people that this is step 1. Step 2 is the ratification of this article. You can vote early, beginning tomorrow at your municipal office in person. You can request an absentee ballot, or you can vote on Election Day. With no further business, I declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Mine's purple. Does it have to be a certain color? Does it have to be a certain?
I would.
Okay. Oh, sure, thank you.
Think you're good?
Oh, yeah, I gotta give, I'll go take this. Yeah. Oh, you gonna take, thank you.
Oh, we have to sign this 3 times or just once?
Thanks, Jen.
They come looking for the paddles.
She has her paddles.
Yeah. Jennifer Waterman has.
Jennifer has
She
them.
took ours to give to you.
I mean, they're really beautiful, so.
These were done.
We should have some kids decorate the ones for Sabatis.
Yeah. We did the whole thing in the schools. It was amazing. And then they
Yep. Hey, Randy. Thank you, Randy.
Some lady.
Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Still have your paddle, Randy.
She was walking down the point.
Other pocket.
Threatening people. I hadn't been in town in a couple of years. I'm looking around, there's their accounts to do something. But she didn't know me.
Did you get an extra agenda?
Yes, you.
Some guys.
School board meetings.
Thank you. I'll get it tomorrow. Thank you.
I get it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow.
Just in time.
I mean, I already.
Is there a,
I like
this is the correct one?
I like to get the packet because I like to write on it sometimes.
Yeah,
It's a
make notes.
reminder, make notes.
Yeah.
And I didn't check
I'd
mail
like to
today.
go ahead and call our board meeting to order. We already did the pledge. I don't need to repeat the pledge. Are there any agenda adjustments? Number 2, the consideration of the minutes. 2.1, to approve the minutes of the September 26, 2022 Board of Directors meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. There is an error on the second page, number 6.3, to approve the vote entitled, so something needs to be corrected there.
Number is it?
Number 6,
Number
6.3.
6.3. Okay, we'll change.
I think that needs to come off.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
It needs to come out.
Can you hear me? Need-
You gotta.
Sorry. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay, and it passes. At this time, we're going to go ahead and allow public comment. Please remember to refrain from using any student name, teacher names when you come up to the podium to identify who you are and what town you are from. So at this time, I'd like to allow anyone here in the gymnasium to come up to the mic and offer their public comment, if you please. Do we have Zoom too today? Okay. Seeing as there are none, we'll go ahead and move on. Are there any petitions and communications? Number 5, we'll go down to reports. 5.1, the superintendent report.
So the superintendent update is in your packet, and I highlighted that visiting Oak Hill Middle School last week, that there was an impromptu concert by one of the music classes, and it was fun to see the kids practicing, and one of the students was leading, so it was a lot of fun to see. We also, John and I met with Kathy Coogan from CHA Architect, who visit our schools to look at priority projects for the school revolving renovation fund. So she's putting something together for us. The application needs to be in by October 31st, so you'll see at the next board meeting approving that application. And so she is working on that. Then you will see that we also had Rob Prue from Pine Tree Engineering go out and look at our new softball field and give some feedback around the needs there. So I think we explained last time from the finance meeting that we're pausing on moving the softball team to the new field until we can have a long-term, short-term plan on the fields. We're looking at the Land and Water Conservation Fund, which has funding for fields, and that application is open, and so we'll be working to see if that is something we want to apply for as well. Then you'll see the workshop. We had a great workshop kickoff with Joe Beckman. He's a national speaker, and we are members of WMEC. So Kathy Martin, who's not here this evening, did a lot of work to get that organized with that group and gave some great messages around love yourself, push through, fail on, yay, toast, about celebrating joy and that human connection, and just look up. And then we had exciting news that we do have a bus driver starting from Norton Agency that John's been working with and hoping to get Kathy. Yes, we see cheering in the stands for that. And also our big goal is to have Kathy Perry not be driving so that she can help and support the transportation department. And then the NWAs kicked off with our grades 3 through 8 and our second year high school students. And staff have been looking at the pre-K 2 data that we have. And so that's the superintendent report. Well, you can see who we have for appointments. We have a new JV basketball coach, Veronica Dume, and then we had resignation from Carly Jo Clark, a teacher for literacy. And so we have put out looking for that teacher replacement.
And 5.2 is the assistant superintendent report. She's not here today, so we'll move on to 5.3, which is the financial report, which will be given at our next board meeting. 5.4, our administrative reports. Dustin and Michaela, you're up first.
Michaela's a little busy right now, so I'll fill in for the rest. Good evening. My name is Dustin Miles, and I am the principal at Libby Tozier and Carrie Ricker Schools. I'd like to tell you a little bit about recent events, first starting at Libby Tozier and then moving on to grades 3 and 4 at Carrie Ricker. This past week, students at Libby Tozier were treated by a visit from the Sabattis Fire Department. Students learned all about fire safety, got to climb into one of the 3 fire trucks that the Sabattis Fire Department brought with them, and even went home with a brand new firefighter's helmet. Some teachers were brave enough to don a firefighter's equipment, which I am told is much heavier than it looks. Overall, it was a memorable experience for all involved, and I want to thank Chief Sherman and his crew for the well-organized and appreciated visit. These are memories that our 4- and 5-year-olds will have for the rest of their lives. We're also looking forward to another visit from the fire department next week at Carrie Ricker, as they will be spending the entire day with us in a very similar presentation. This past Friday, Libby Tozier took part in our district-wide workshop day with guest speaker and author of Just Look Up, Joe Beckman. In addition to the excellent presentation from Joe, staff was able to do breakout sessions with facilitators from Libby Tozier to have deeper discussion on how we can implement the Just Look Up motto into our everyday teachings. The day was topped off with our assistant principal, Michaela Stevens, reviewing tiered behaviors with the staff, which allows us to have a common language when it comes to managing behaviors and a common vision for the school. The feedback from staff was beyond positive for the day and showed how important it is that we continue this work as a school community to come together and learn side by side. At Carrie Ricker, we are in full steam with students busy finishing up the NWA assessments, completing their personal narratives and literacy. Staff at both Carrie Ricker and Libby Tozier met together today to have an extension of our social emotional learning development with guest speaker Sarah Cummings. Sarah led the group through community meetings, strategies, and even had all the teachers participate in a morning circle where we learned about self-affirmations, breathing exercises, and yoga. Some were better at yoga than others. This is a great example of how we are working on developing our whole mind and body with both students and staff. As we all know, there comes a point in the school year when work and stress can catch up to us as teachers. We want all of our teachers to have strategies and feel supported at all times so they can be productive each and every day. For our school celebrations, we had our first assembly. This was filled with apple stacking relay races, the wave, and some awesome owl awards. Kids loved the music provided by our talented music teacher, Mr. Johnston, and even learned that their teachers can be silly at times. Finally, I can't leave without putting a spotlight on all of our staff. From special ed tech, Ms. Christy Daigle, to our pre-K teacher, Ms. Caceres, the work we have done as a whole this year with the help of our PLGs has made us grow leaps and bounds in a very short period of time. We are already seeing practices put into place that we have learned through this professional development, supports our students, and allows them to grow as learners as far as they can go. This, of course, ultimately only makes our nest stronger and more sustainable over a long period of time. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions or comments you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Miles. Next on the list is Amy St. Pierre, Jenny Hudner, and Annie Arnold, SPS and Oak Hill Middle.
Hello, I'm Annie Arnold, assistant principal at Sabatis Primary School. Okay. Okay. Right to it then. So click it right on there. All right, so staff are continuing to build the nest as students fall into stronger routines and participate in standardized testing, our NWEA testing, and rigor is increasing in academics. Our PLG time in the past few weeks has been utilized to assure that teachers understand and can use the new assessments and attendance/grading platforms, as well as continue vision setting for Tier 1 academic and SEL instruction. NWEAs in reading and math began the week of September 26th and were very successful in terms of technology and student participation. There are very few makeups left at SPS to administer, and they should be done by the end of the week. Thanks to all the dedicated staff and their preparations for the assessments and strong positive communications with students and families, the testing went really well, and the data collected is going to be very useful for planning Tier 1 core instruction, as well as accurately identifying Title I groups for intervention purposes. Shout out to Evan and Kona for rearranging his schedule to be there to support us at SPS. Teachers have already begun the process of learning the MAP reports at teacher workshop. So if you, I think it's on the next slide, I'm not totally sure. You can't really see it very well, but I think it's the next one too, sorry. Yep. So this is, they were sitting there doing some work with the data, and we had Horace Mann came, and Abby Netto won our Horace Mann award for the day. He said it was going to be a trip to like Bermuda or something, and it wasn't. It was just a gift card, but cool, cool anyway. If we go back to the slide previous to that, that was the Joe Beckman presentation, which was really cool. We had a little technical difficulties with the sound, but we still got the gist of it, and it was pretty powerful and positive. And in addition to staff learning the new assessment platform and new data reports, they've also been working to navigate our new grading system, Power School. Shout out to our building trainer, Denise Meehan, Evan Ancona, and Jordan Lord from the central office for taking time to support PLG work that we did on October 5th and helping to navigate the questions we have and continue to have come up at SPS. And last thing, I didn't write about it, but we had fire safety too, and it was pretty awesome. And the hat was really heavy. So.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Alphabet soup. So what does PLG stand for? So people
Professional Learning Group.
Thank you.
Some districts call PLC Professional Learning Communities. It's our time. It's our times when we come together on Wednesdays and have professional development and meetings together.
Great, thanks.
Hi everyone, Amy St. Pierre, principal of Oak Hill Middle School and Sabattis Primary School. And tonight, Jenny and I are eager to share with you some of the exciting things that are happening at Oak Hill Middle School. So at the beginning of October, we had our first assembly with grades 7 and 8. Healthy Androscoggin came in, Vicki Wegman, to share a brief presentation that covered some basic facts and informational tidbits on tobacco, nicotine, and e-cigarettes. We plan to continue partnering with Healthy Androscoggin, with the health and media studies teachers, so that students can continue learning about the impact of social media on decision making, as well as refusal techniques to making healthy decisions.
Hi, Jen Hudner, Assistant Principal at Oak Hill Middle. October is Fire Prevention Month, and we also, thanks to the efforts of our SRO Brown, had Sabattis Fire Department visited 5th and 6th grade students to talk with the students about fire safety. As you can see from the pictures, some of the 5th and 6th grade students got to put on the fire gear, and they learned about the job of a firefighter. Thank you to Sabattis Fire and SRO Brown for helping set this up.
And I'm happy to report that Oak Hill Middle School has successfully completed 3 fire drills already this year. On the next slide, we have a care club that has been developed at Oak Hill Middle School that is dedicated to improving the culture and climate for students and staff at the middle school. And there's a focus on spreading kindness and positivity. Each month, the care club sends out a challenge for advisory groups, and they work together to tackle these different challenges. And in September, the challenge for the advisory groups was to write down all of the positive things that Oak Hill Middle School students love about the middle school community. And the students, along with their care club advisors, created this Apple Wordle that's a little bit hard to see, but it's in black. And it includes the words that the students used to describe the middle school, which was pretty exciting. We hung those up around the middle school for students and staff to enjoy, and we'll be posting it on Facebook later as well.
Bus evacuations?
We also had the chance with SRO, I don't know where it is in here, with SRO Brown to go over bus evacuations. She came and talked to the students about proper ways to evacuate a bus in case of an emergency, and they conducted the drills right out front of the school in the morning.
And then, slide 3, we have some pictures from our 5th grade and 6th grade classrooms. In 5th grade, students are studying bones in science class, and more specifically, they're learning about elements, atoms, and physical properties of matter. The students are working on comparing and contrasting the size of cow bones with deer bones, and they're using systems of measurement as they learn how to find volume by placing an unusual shape into water to observe the displacement of water. And along with doing that, they're using cross sections of bones that they're going to be observing and analyzing to learn where blood is made and what it looks like inside bones. And they're making really exciting connections as they connect the dots with what they already know to the facts that all things are made up of matter, including their own bones in their body. And each grade level, each grade at the middle school has recognition award ceremonies each month where the students and staff get together and they have the opportunity to celebrate students for their achievement in social emotional learning and academics. And pictured here is the 6th grade award ceremony where students had the opportunity to listen to some of the great things that their peers are doing in the classrooms. And then finally, the last picture, we will end our portion of the presentation tonight with a clip from music class, because who doesn't enjoy an impromptu presentation, as Katie shared with us from the 5th grade music class. You can hear it.
Put the mic over there.
And the students will often come around the school and really impromptu just start breaking out into song. So it's fun. Questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Marco and Sam from the high school.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sam and I are excited to share some happenings at Oak Hill High School. It's been a very busy and productive month since we were last in front of you, and we start with continuing our district theme, Build the Nest. The high school is working on a positive behavioral intervention system, commonly known as PBIS. PBIS is a tiered approach to promote school safety and good behavior. It begins with Tier 1 expectations, which are developed by students and staff and branded around the school. Sam has been leading this work, which involves students from Oak Hill Legislative Assembly and the leadership team discussing common expectations in common areas and then evolving to classrooms. The 3 overarching expectations, as you can see on the slide here, be safe, be respectful, and be responsible, stay the same in all areas, but the descriptions change with the area. Once the expectations are finalized, instruction on how to behave in all areas of the building will take place, and our goal is to have a clearly defined expectations to, again, promote school safety and good behavior. And you can see the staff is working on some of their work in regards to these posters on the right-hand side, and Sam's in the front there leading that exercise. And this is what these will look like. The branding around the school, each of the areas in the school will have this wonderful sign with the different indicators of how you should be behaving in those spots as time goes on. Next slide, please, Norma Jean. The Oak Hill High School student life has been as vibrant as ever. Just wanted to mention, you heard a lot of information surrounding homecoming from Brian Daniels and also from Katie Grondin. And I did want to mention, because it wasn't mentioned, that the sophomores did win the overall trophy for homecoming, which is a great accomplishment for their year. Also, Oak Hill High School Drama is continuing to prep for their show, Clue, which will debut soon. The Civil Rights team published their first newsletter of the year, which was informative, introducing several new members to the team. And Socktober has returned to Oak Hill High School, and that's one of the pictures there with the students showing you their excellent socks. Students are encouraged to wear fun socks to win fun socks. Additionally, this year we are collecting new socks to donate to New Beginnings. And I would also like to draw your attention to the picture of the pond. I'm told this is the Litchfield Sportsman's Club. And one of our new physical education teachers, Tim Ferrer, took a group of students to enjoy the outdoors, do some fishing. So the students went and did some fishing, and it was a nice way to introduce some students to the sport and get some fresh air. Next slide, please. Thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the professional development realm. The staff at Oak Hill High School have been working extremely hard. We have met 3 times last week, staff meeting, early release Wednesday, and our workshop day. The staff have been focused on growth plans and their evaluation system, listening to motivational speaker Joe Beckman, and participating in academic intervention rounds and the aforementioned PBIS. There's been much growth from the start of the school year, and Sam and I look forward to sharing more with you in our next reports. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, thank you.
All right, director's report will happen at our next board meeting. At this time, we still have no student rep, so we'll move on to. Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Now we'll move on to old business, 6.1. To approve the second reading of the following policies and procedures. AC, non-discrimination / equal opportunity and affirmative action.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? As seeing no discussion, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor? All those not in favor? Motion passes. Next one is the ACAA, harassment and sexual harassment of students.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll go ahead, call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay. All those not in favor? Motion passes. ACAA-R, student discrimination / harassment and Title IX sexual harassment complaint procedures.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? As no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those not in favor? ACAB, harassment and sexual harassment of school employees.
So moved.
I'm sorry, was there a second? I'm sorry, I did not hear that. Any discussion? As no discussion, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay. All those not in favor? ACAB-R, employee discrimination / harassment and Title IX sexual harassment complaint procedures.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? As seeing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Thank you. All those not in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. GCFB, recruiting and hiring of administrative staff.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? As no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Thank you. All those not in favor? Thank you. All right, number 7, new business, 7.1, to approve a field trip to Boston, Massachusetts, scheduled for Friday, October 21st, 2022, in preparation for the Oak Hill High School Academic Decathlon American Revolution course. Information was included in your packet.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I had just some questions, just for clarification. Marco, I see that you're there, so I'm guessing that's why you moved closer. Is this a trip that has been done in the past?
We've gone to Boston before. I've actually done it on college trips with the high school. But as far as academic decathlon is concerned, I can't say that we've gone to Boston. We definitely have done other field trips. For instance, I think one of the themes, one of the years that I was here was Africa, and so students went to an Ethiopian restaurant, to get an idea of the cuisine and such, and that was in Portland. But I can't say from recent memory that it was that we went to Boston for anything in particular regarding academic decathlon.
Katie, do we have liability insurance to go out of state?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Scott.
noticed on the agenda there's a stop for the Fine Arts Museum. Is there a specific exhibit on display that you're aware of that relates to the revolution?
So it's a number of, the academic decathlon piece covers like all aspects of, I believe it's the Revolution, American Revolution is what they're studying. So it would include art, during that time frame. I can't tell you specifically what art pieces they'd be looking at or what exhibits they might be encountering while they're there, but it would be very much focused on that aspect of it.
Yeah, I was just, I guess, curious on the necessity. I mean, what's the real benefit of them going there instead of doing other studies? Because they participate in something every year, and they don't always go to like the home of the revolution or the home of whatever they're doing. So I'm just kind of interested on, to get them out, take them out of a day of school, or,
Sure.
what's the real benefit we hope to get for the academic decathlon team versus the student?
Versus what? What was the rest part of that?
Versus just the student learning that would benefit the whole student body and not just we're not sending everybody to Boston, understand that.
No. I mean, it would be great if we did, absolutely. But, as far as the specificity of it, I mean, you have a group of students who are, participating in programming around the American Revolution. And obviously the crucible of that is, Boston, Massachusetts. And so with it being so close, it's a great opportunity for students to actually see some of these buildings, take a tour of, the Freedom Trail, to see some of the artwork that was created during that piece of time. I mean, they're immersing themselves, in the educational experience that's there for them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, thinking kind of where Bob was going, so this is a specific group of students, and you're pulling them out of their all-day academic classes?
Sure.
Is that, so they're just gonna miss all day worth of academic classes for the field trip?
Yeah, like I wish we were closer. Or we didn't have to miss an entire day, but yeah, very much so. Yep.
So is there a plan to then have them come back and report, share the information?
We can have them do that. That's not an issue whatsoever. I mean, part of the field trip request forms is, what are you going to be doing with the information, that you go. And so, some of the things that were listed, Mr. Anderson, who is the teacher for the class and the advisor for the group, couldn't be here this evening. He has a couple of sick family members. So he would be answering these questions. But just some of the goals and objectives here are to see and learn in greater detail about historic sites, observe and hear guided talk about selected pieces at the Museum of Fine Arts, and then the follow-up activities, which, Scott, you're mentioning here. So there'd be some reflection activities in regards to creating a slideshow to help. Obviously, they take a test and they compete. That's part of academic decathlon to prepare for that state competition. Now, with that being said, if the board would like them to come back and report on some of their learning, by all means, I'm sure that wouldn't be an issue whatsoever.
Any other discussion?
Marco, this continues to be a class offered at high school, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Seeing how there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor? So moved. That's approved. We'll move on to committee reports. Finance and Facilities will report out at our next meeting. Personnel and Policy Committee.
Hi. So we had a very busy day today. We started off with attending the Drummond-Woodson LGBTQ+ and other politically contentious issues for board members webinar that was offered across the state. And then we interviewed our student representative, Destiny Samare, and she will be representing the junior class as our student rep starting soon. So we're very excited about that. We do have quite a few policies to review, but ran out of time because we were up against the clock. Questions?
Will the webinar be available to view online at a later date?
So my understanding is we'll be given the slides. I'm not sure that it was recorded. Was it recorded?
I think so. We didn't see it. I didn't see the recording come up, so, but we'll have the slide. We can
Will you be
share.
able to share?
Yes.
Yeah, it was really informative.
Any other questions? And CIA Technology will report at our next meeting. We will move on to board comments. Do you have any board comments?
I'll make a comment. I was glad to see that Oak Hill Middle School is doing the academic and every month, the monthly meetings that you have, because some of the kids came to me and said, I hope we're doing that. We haven't done it yet, so I'm glad to see that they're doing that.
Anyone else? Seeing no further comments, without any objection, I will go ahead and declare the meeting adjourned at Kevin?